Imagine walking down the street and seeing a family of four, a mom, a dad, and two kids walking hand in hand. Would you be surprised? Probably not. Now, I'm going to fill in a few details for you. Now picture the mom is African American, the dad is Caucasian, and the two kids are biracial, a perfect mix between the two of them. Would you be surprised now seeing a mixed race family walking down the street? I would say now in 2018, many people wouldn't be very surprised or outraged by seeing an interracial relationship. However, society has since been open-minded to different types of intimate relationships. However, there was a time in society, regardless, especially in America, when interracial relationships and marriages were deemed unacceptable and were oftentimes dangerous to the parties involved.
Back in the 1950s, only 70 years ago, many states in America were segregated, and interracial relationships, let alone marriage, was deemed illegal. Such is the case with Poor Richard and Mildred Loving. In 1958, the couple fell in love, and Mildred was going to have a baby. The couple wanted to get married before the child came. Unfortunately, society was far less tolerant towards interracial marriages. At the time, 24 states across the country had strict laws prohibiting marriage between people of different races. In order to evade Virginia's Racial Integrity Act, the pair had traveled to Washington, D.C. for the ceremony. The couple were then dragged out of bed and hauled into jail upon their return for the crime of getting married.
I'm here today to talk to my coach about interracial couples. I want to ask him a couple questions. One of my first questions are, how did your parents respond when you guys first met?
They were happy. My mother was a woman from an interracial couple, so she kind of understood. I would say her parents were a bit worried. Just kind of the world we live in. But I think as they understood, we were happy. We felt like it was meant to be. That we were excited to be together, and everything was going to work out.
Okay. Another typical question that may be asked is, how would you guys identify your kid?
Probably multiracial.
So not either side?
No. Well, we try not to label ourselves. So we just make up a lot of different things.
Let's go into the history of it. It's very tough to sit here with a black person, a white person across from a white person, and have a conversation back in the old times. And now that it's capable and we can do that, how does it feel to be able to marry someone of the opposite race and be okay?
I guess for me, sometimes you don't really think about it that way because we're so far removed from those civil rights days. It was our grandparents that kind of fought for those battles, but you understand it. You get it. You go to different places that may not be as accepting as other places. You get the vibes. You understand. Traditionally, we try to stay away from places where we as a couple would maybe not be welcome or a bit uncomfortable. But we're lucky. It took a lot of people to get to this point. It wasn't just something that kind of woke up and was like an okay thing. There's many stories in history of many people fighting those battles for allowing people like me and my wife to be together.
Right.
So I was asked about interracial relationships when I was younger, and when I was younger, we lived in a small rural town in Illinois, and most of the people there were part of the KKK. My grandfather was a huge person in the KKK, and none of us would even think about, dating somebody of a different race or anything like that. There were lots of blacks in Illinois, but most of them were up in Chicago, and we didn't go up there, and they didn't come down where we lived. And the first time that I remember seeing someone of mixed race marrying or being together was when my father had to go to Germany. He was in the military, and when I got there, I saw that there were African American males that were married to some German women, and at that time, I was told that they were just with those people because they wanted to come to the United States. So I didn't ever think that it was for love or anything like that. I just thought that that's what they wanted, so that's what they were doing. It wasn't until later in life that I realized that I met this couple that they had so much love for each other and for their children and their family. And I literally said, "Oh, what country do you come from?" And she's like, "I'm from the United States." And I was like, "What?" And so it was kind of awkward, and we talked about it for a little while, and then I was probably already 18 years old by the time that I realized that. Again, in my high school, there was no interracial relationships. It wasn't until I left home that I saw it. I had moved to Atlanta, actually, and that was my first encounter of an interracial relationship where I knew that people actually loved each other and they were married because of that. Nowadays, it's all mixed, so I just think this is part of our world and part of our country, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think that the heart knows no boundaries. I think you can love anybody. So the heart can't tell color, size, shape. All it knows is feelings, and I think that if you fall in love with someone and you think that's the person that you need to be with, then you need to be with them. So yeah, I think anybody you want to be with. So that's what I think about interracial relationships now.
So in conclusion, the idea of interracial couples and marriages has definitely changed over the past 70 years and has become more normalized. With all the normalization with the interracial couples and marriages, a lot of people nowadays are in interracial couples and end up getting married interracially. So the point of this video was to educate people on the differences of what it was before and what it is now, and how the times have changed and how it has become normalized.